Have you ever had that sudden feeling of forgetfulness? You walk into the kitchen, and once you get there, you completely forget what you were going to get? Or maybe you feel like your mind has been slower, as if it's constantly tired? Well, know that this might not just be stress or lack of sleep. Scientists have already proven that certain ingredients promote inflammation, accelerate brain aging, and even increase the risk of diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia. But don't worry, because in this video, we're going to reveal the 10 most toxic foods for the brain and show you exactly what to avoid to protect your memory, concentration, and mental well-being. And let me warn you in advance, the first one on the list is a true master of disguise and might be in your breakfast right now. But before that, let's understand a little more about inflammation and brain deterioration. Inflammation in the brain can compromise memory, concentration, and mood, often caused by a diet rich in ultra-processed foods and unhealthy fats. Studies show that neuroinflammation is linked to diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Just like an engine without maintenance, the brain deteriorates when exposed to chemical additives, artificial colorings, and trans fats, harming communication between neurons. The result? Forgetfulness, slower thinking, and even sleep problems, signs that your diet might be sabotaging your mind. But now, let's uncover a specific type of substance that has experts deeply concerned. And believe it or not, it's present in many products marketed as healthy. Aspartame and artificial sweeteners. The promise of artificial sweeteners is tempting. The sweet taste without the calories of sugar. But is this trade-off really worth it? Aspartame, for example, is at the center of a heated debate among scientists and health experts. Some studies suggest that it may affect neurotransmitters like serotonin, influencing mood, memory, and even learning ability. Additionally, preliminary research indicates that frequent consumption can alter the gut microbiota, which directly impacts brain health. In the end, what seemed like a harmless alternative might actually be sabotaging your mind's function. And what if I told you that brain fog sensation could be directly linked to your diet soda or artificially sweetened coffee? Studies suggest that some sweeteners can increase oxidative stress in the brain, accelerating the aging of neural cells. But don't worry, you don't have to give up the sweet taste. Natural alternatives like pure stevia and erythritol can be great options for sweetening without harming the brain. Which brings us to another sneaky danger, often hidden where we least expect it, and one that can affect cognitive functions even more. Heavy metals in fish. Fish is synonymous with healthy eating, right? Well, it depends. The problem is that not all fish are brain-friendly. Some, especially large species like tuna, shark, and swordfish, can contain alarming levels of mercury, a neurotoxic heavy metal that accumulates in the body over time. Mercury affects communication between neurons, potentially causing memory lapses, difficulty concentrating, and even increasing the risk of neurodegenerative diseases. And here's a worrying fact. A study published in JAMA Neurology revealed that people with high levels of mercury in their blood have a greater risk of cognitive decline over the years. The key is making the right choice. Wild salmon, sardines, and tilapia are safer options, with low mercury levels and rich in omega-3, which supports brain health. What few people realize is that the brain's biggest enemy might actually be sitting on a grocery store shelf, not in the ocean. And believe it or not, it's sweet and a staple in many people's breakfasts. Refined sugar and its impact. Refined sugar is a true villain in disguise. It's everywhere, from breakfast to that innocent afternoon snack. But what many people don't realize is the silent damage it causes to the brain. Studies indicate that excessive consumption of refined sugar triggers neuronal inflammation and can increase the risk of diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia. And there's more. Sugar alters dopamine levels, creating a vicious cycle of cravings for more sweets while reducing concentration and memory capacity. Ever felt that mental fog after overindulging in sweets? That's no coincidence. The brain responds to excess glucose as if it were dealing with chronic inflammation, impairing its functions in the long run. But the problem doesn't stop there. Research shows that diets high in refined sugar can accelerate insulin resistance in the brain, a major risk factor for neurodegenerative diseases and even brain volume reduction. In other words, too much sugar literally shrinks the brain. Choosing natural sweeteners like raw honey, dates, and stevia can be a smart way to maintain sweetness without compromising mental health. But if you think refined sugar is bad, just wait until you see the damage certain oils can cause inside the body. Trans fats in processed foods. Found in margarine, packaged snacks, and fried foods, this artificial fat has a devastating effect on brain health. It promotes inflammation, disrupts neuron communication, and is linked to a higher risk of dementia. A study published in Neurology revealed that people with high levels of trans fats in their blood had up to a 52% higher chance of developing neurodegenerative diseases. This means that your bag of cookies or fries might be sabotaging your memory and reasoning. And the worst part is, you may not even notice it. The problem is that the food industry loves this fat because it increases product shelf life and enhances the texture of processed foods. But for the brain, the effect is the opposite. Degradation happens fast. Now, if you think trans fats are already harmful, wait until you learn about the hidden dangers in processed meats. Processed meats and additives. Sausages, bacon, ham. They may seem harmless, but these foods hide a real danger for the brain. Processed meats are loaded with preservatives like nitrites and nitrates, which, when metabolized by the body, can generate toxic compounds linked to oxidative stress and neuronal inflammation. Research suggests that frequent consumption of these foods may increase the risk of early cognitive decline, leading to a higher chance of developing dementia. Choosing high-quality proteins like fish, eggs, and fresh meats is the safest way to keep your mind sharp. But if you think the preservatives in these foods are concerning, wait until you see what ultra-processed foods do to the brain. Ultra-processed foods. These foods are loaded with chemical additives, hidden sugars, and preservatives that wreak havoc on the brain. Studies show that frequent consumption of these products is linked to increased oxidative stress and neuronal inflammation, factors that accelerate brain aging. And it's not just fast food. Many yogurts, breakfast cereals, and even industrialized bread fall into this category. Researchers from Nature Neuroscience have already pointed out that diets rich in ultra-processed foods can alter brain plasticity, making learning and information retention more difficult. And if you think ultra-processed foods are bad enough, wait until you see the impact of another widely consumed substance, one that can seriously affect your ability to think clearly. Alcohol and cognitive impairment. Excessive alcohol consumption interferes with communication between neurons, affecting memory, decision-making, and even reflexes. Who hasn't felt their mind slow down after a night of overindulgence? This happens because alcohol reduces activity in the hippocampus, the region responsible for learning and storing information. And the problem doesn't stop there. In the long term, frequent consumption can lead to progressive neurodegeneration, accelerating conditions like dementia and Alzheimer's. A study published in Lancet Public Health revealed that people who consume alcohol excessively have a significantly higher risk of developing cognitive disorders. But don't worry, this doesn't mean you have to cut it out completely. Moderation is key. If you choose to drink small amounts of red wine, rich in natural antioxidants, may be a less harmful alternative. Now, if you think the effects of alcohol are bad, wait until you learn about the impact of another type of beverage that's growing in popularity, but could be even more dangerous for the brain. Energy drinks. Energy drinks promise an instant boost, but they hide a dangerous side effect for the brain. With high doses of caffeine and sugar, these products create energy spikes followed by sudden crashes, putting the nervous system on a roller coaster ride. This wears down neurotransmitters responsible for focus and mental clarity, leading to mental fatigue and even anxiety. Research published in the Journal of the American Heart Association warns that frequent consumption of energy drinks may increase the risk of stroke and irreversible brain damage, especially in young adults who consume them excessively. The problem is that many people develop a dependency on these drinks to get through their day, without realizing the harm they cause. But if you think energy drinks are bad, imagine the damage that excessive sodium consumption can do to the brain. Excess sodium and brain health. Sodium is essential for the body's function, but in excess, it can become a major enemy of the brain. High-salt diets disrupt the balance between sodium and potassium in the body, impairing blood circulation and increasing blood pressure. This means less blood and less oxygen reaches the brain, which can compromise memory, cognition, and even increase the risk of dementia. A study published in Nature Neuroscience indicated that high-sodium diets can induce cognitive dysfunctions even without obvious signs of hypertension. The problem is that extra salt often goes unnoticed, hidden in processed foods, ready-made sauces, and cured meats. But the danger doesn't stop there. A common ingredient found in cooking oils may be sabotaging the brain without anyone realizing it. Refined vegetable oils. Refined vegetable oils, such as soybean, corn, and canola oils, may seem harmless, but the truth is they hide a silent danger for the brain. These oils are rich in omega-6 fatty acids, which in excess can disrupt the balance between omega-3 and omega-6 in the body, promoting chronic inflammation. The result? An inflamed brain, with a higher risk of developing neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Studies indicate that diets high in these oils can increase oxidative stress in brain cells, accelerating mental aging and reducing cognitive ability over time. Researchers have revealed that excessive consumption of refined vegetable oils is linked to deficits in brain function and can interfere with communication between neurons. The problem is that these oils are everywhere: fried foods, processed sauces, and even products marketed as healthy. Now tell me, how many of these foods are part of your daily life? Have you noticed your memory getting weaker or your concentration not being the same? Maybe the problem isn't just a busy routine, but also what's on your plate. And if you want to know which superfoods can boost your mind and body, I have the perfect video for you. The 7 most underrated superfoods you need to try. Click here on the screen and find out how to include these powerful allies in your diet. That's it for today's video. Stay well, and see you next time.